Welcome back to the Comic Book Bullies with Nerdist New Bully. I'm your host, Leroy, a.k.a. Mean Willy Wonka Green, with my co-hosts.
Yeah, this is Eli, a.k.a. Slowpoke Rodriguez.
There we go. I meant to say Mean Willy Wonka Green on the scene, but that's too much of a tongue twister anyway. So, yeah, we're back with another episode. Like I said, we got a full load for you today. Nice, thick, girthy, creamy? No. Okay, never mind.
Thick, yes, thick, yes.
There
rich,
we go.
Rich and thick.
But yeah, we got to start off with the sad news because I hate when we have to do it, but we got to do it. So we do want to say, rest in peace to Biz Markie. Like I said, this is a legend. Biz Markie is a legend. Now, I know a lot of people that are listening to this podcast and probably not up on rap like they used to be, probably don't know who he is, or you probably heard the name and don't really know what he brought to the table. You just heard this name. You probably heard this little gimmick, where he's dressed up like Amadeus, because that was the movie at the time, and he was just like, I don't know what the hell's going on. But here's the thing about Biz Markie. Biz Markie is a pioneer. He is a trailblazer. One of the greatest MCs of all time, one of the greatest beatboxers of all time, pretty much made it famous. Eli, know this. Just your guy. However, my guy was Buffy from the Fat Boys. That's just me. That's me.
Yeah. Same here. I mean, Buffy, yeah, Fat Boys. That's where I first heard beatboxing. But yes, Biz Markie was doing it before. Like he popularized it.
Say that 5 times 5.
Yeah.
And there was other guys back then. Like I said, in the 80s, that was the thing. Beatboxing was the thing. Like if you got a whole bunch of guys rapping stuff like that, if you don't have a beat, you either beat on the table or you start beatboxing.
I tried to do it.
I was pretty good. In the second grade. I nailed it. I was the best beatboxer in the second grade.
Yeah, I mean,
so
I couldn't rap. I couldn't break dance for shit, but I could beatbox.
However, when I started spitting on the best rapper, like literally spitting on him because I was beatboxing and stuff like that, and he almost beat my ass, I quit doing it.
I put my hands.
Well, see, I didn't think about that at the second grade. If I did that, I probably would have got.
Yeah. Your hands give it bass and shit.
I didn't think about that. I was just freeballing it, just out there, just. Oh man. So but we're gonna keep talking about Biz Markie. Like I said, he had a bunch of classics. Like he had classics. Like we're talking about Make the Music with Your Mouth Biz, which, like I said, he was beatboxing on that. We gotta talk about the Vapors we were talking about. And that's the thing, when Biz first started out, he was just a rapper. He had bars, he had rhymes, he had lines, stuff like that, but he was just a rapper. But he started becoming more, you know what? Since I'm rapping like everybody else, let me do something different. And that's when we got to the point where he started, making his own distinct sound. That's what we had. Oh baby, you got what I need. Say he's just a friend. Here's the thing, Eli. Yeah, but the thing is, this song at the time was revolutionary because before Biz Markie came around, rap was just, I'm hard, I'm from the streets, I'm tough. Look at my
at the time chain. It was all about like gangster rap at the time. That shit dropped.
Yeah. Right, that shit dropped. It was like, oh, you can have fun while rapping? You can sing while rapping? You didn't sing. If you sang while you rap, you were corny. That's
be goofy, because he was kind of goofy and funny.
He was kind of goofy back in the day, which is actually what I want to bring up another point, because people don't even know the legacy that he left behind, because that song got so popular, it was actually remixed around in the mid 2000s by like an R&B teeny bopper, and it was popular with the ladies, but nobody knew where the song came from. They were just singing his version of it, like, oh, he's so sexy. You got to go back to Biz Markie. It wasn't sexy when he did it, Not only that, he was a movie star because, and I got to bring it up, Eli, it's my quota. Men in Black 2. he was one of the aliens, because the thing, Will Smith is from that era also. So they actually had like similar style. Fresh Prince came at the same time. Biz Markie came around. So yeah, that's the thing with Biz Markie. But here's the thing: everybody plays Biz Markie off like a comedy rapper, and he's so goofy, stuff like that. But you really gotta listen to the lyrics of Just a Friend. He's dropping knowledge. He's dropping nuggets, jewels in that song. Like if you listen to the story and the lyrics of what he's saying in that song, it's some shit that's actually like you can carry on through your life. Because basically what he's telling you is that if you see an attractive girl that doesn't have a boyfriend but has a lot of male friends, that is a red flag. Pay attention to the signs.
Or just being like the nerdy outcast that ain't getting laid. You know, that's
that too. That's what a lot of his songs were about. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of his songs about, but he's rich and he's got fame, because he was even doing that stuff back then. So the thing is, that's what Biz Markie was trying to tell you. If you see it, it's a red flag. Now, I'm not telling you that if you see that, what you should or shouldn't do. All I'm saying, if you see that, act accordingly. I'm not giving relationship advice. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah. Know? Well, remember what was that that movie about Roxanne Shante on Netflix?
Was he?
He was in that. He somebody played him. Somebody played him in that movie. Like he was, because he was from that time. But he was on Yo Gabba Gabba. I don't know if anybody watched that show. My daughter loved that kids show, Yo Gabba Gabba. Everybody remember? He's also a rapper. Yeah.
that was one of his singles. Pickin' Boogers was one of his singles. Yeah. So
yeah, he was on that little kids show, Yo Gabba Gabba. He had Biz's Beat of the Day, where he would actually beatbox, and a beatbox tutorial, if you will, for little kids. My daughter loved that show when she was tiny. So.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Biz Markie was just popular with kids. He was acting stuff like that. Like I said, he was a different type of rapper. He wasn't hard. He didn't have sex appeal like Big Daddy Kane or LL Cool J. He was kind of chubby. You know,
he was always featured on so many other people's albums. You know, he'd guest on this track and that track, and they were always the funner tracks too.
Right, because he always brought like a certain energy that back in the 80s no other rapper was doing. You know, so he had a different type of energy to him, and that's like I said, the stuff that Biz Markie is doing now, a lot of rappers doing that and don't know where it came from.
Yeah, just the stupid get on the mic if you know you eat Jello or whatever.
And that's another thing I want to say, Eli. There were so many rappers that are repeating the stuff that he said, don't know that he said it. Can you feel it? Nothing can save you because this is the time of the season of the vapors. Like I've heard rappers say, like hardcore rappers say that and don't know where it came from. You know, so just want to say rest in peace to
was that Rozelle, the guy he used to be with the Roots.
Now
Rozelle, and he released an album, Make the Music with Your Mouth.
I've heard some remixes of that also, another song about oral sex, Make the Music with Your Mouth, bitch. But that's another rapper that did that. But that's like he's like a trailblazer. He's a pioneer, and but it's been so long ago, people don't know where the stuff came from. That's all. So let me say we move on to the next part of the podcast. But rest in peace to Biz.
Yeah, good journey, sir.
Okay. All right. So Eli, we just got blocked on Facebook, but that's okay. We're gonna keep going.
I should share the link. Well, while you talk about that, I'll share the link.
Go for it. So, oh man, I shouldn't have did that. Yeah, I think we just got blocked, but that's okay. All right. So what we have here is the box office. We're gonna start off with the box office. We're gonna go from there. And Eli, tell me what is the #1 movie of the week?
I heard it's the Looney Tunes, or what's it called? Space Jam.
It is Space Jam. Let me see if I can get to it real quick. Space Jam. Space Jam actually took down an Avenger. Took down Black Widow. Yeah.
Oops.
So it was at 31 million. Like I said, it's an estimate. We know exactly what we know. Black Widow did 26 million. And here's the thing, Eli. This is the biggest drop off of any Marvel movie in the second week.
Damn.
Yeah, so that's not bad. So this is what they were saying that the Black Widow movie did in this first week versus the second week. So yeah, kind of messed up, but yeah. So yeah, womp, crying Jordan face, wherever you want to go from there. But like I said, since it is the #1 movie, I just want to briefly talk about it also, so we can just jump into it. What do we got? Because you said you didn't see it, right, Eli?
I didn't see it. I tried to throw it on for my daughter, but she didn't give a shit.
Okay, let me ask you this. Did your daughter see the first Space Jam?
No.
Okay. That's the thing. You kind of got to see the first one to get nostalgia for this one, but that's no big deal. But I'm going to just jump into it and just basically give my review of what I thought of Space Jam. Also, why you shouldn't give a shit about my review of Space Jam. I'm going to give you both in the same time. Mainly because no matter what I say and no matter what anybody says about this movie is that any adult motherfucker trashing this movie or praising the movie, who cares? this is a kids movie at the end of the day. So it doesn't matter what Roger Ebert, well, he's dead. Richard Roper says, or Chris Stuckman, or anybody says like that. Yeah, they can hate this movie all they want to, but all that matters, as long as a 10-year-old or 8-year-old enjoy the movie and laughing ass off at the movie, that's what it matters. So
it's basically Star Wars, right?
It's basically Star Wars. I mean, like I said, it's made for a specific demographic. Now, people are saying that just because it's a kids movie doesn't mean you can't enjoy a kids movie, and I get that. Look, I'm not saying that Space Jam is Toy Story. I'm not saying it's Into the Spider-Verse, like cartoons or Incredible and like that, like cartoons that, or Lion King that transcend a genre. This isn't that. This is some goofy Looney Tune shit. The plot is barely held together. It's just weird shit just happening for no reason whatsoever, but that's the shit type of shit kids like. I remember that a lot of reviewers saying that it's too many bright colors. Like I said, it's for kids. That's the shit kids like because it gets their attention. They see.
Well, they must not be fans of Teletubbies then.
They probably don't too many plot holes in Teletubbies. We don't want to hear that shit, man. Turn your critic brain off. Like when I say turn your brain off to movies like this, Space Jam is the movie to turn your brain off. And here's the funny thing about it, Eli. Like for some reason, these same critics are comparing this Space Jam to the old Space Jam. Like that, like the first Space Jam in 1996 was a classic, like it was Gone with the Wind or Casablanca.
Was it a classic though?
According to them, the people that are bashing this movie,
like remember when the new Ninja Turtles dropped and everyone shit all over it and they're like, that sucks. The old ones were these great masterpieces, even though they had like Vanilla Ice. Vanilla Ice was in that shit. Like
right. And they were dancing to Vanilla Ice. Like, no, man, that's not go ninja, go. No, so that it's kind of like that. Like people really have the nostalgia glasses on for this movie when they really shouldn't, because the same critiques that people are making about this movie, like one, it's too commercialized. It's just a 2-hour commercial. The main actor is a really athlete and he can't act worth shit. There's barely a plot hanging this all together. Guess what, Eli? Those were the same criticisms of the first movie. So they're saying this movie is too much of a commercial. The first Space Jam was born from a commercial. It was literally a commercial they decided to spin into a movie. It was just there for Michael Jordan to sell shoes, and that's all this is. This movie is kind of like even more commercialized. Yes, it actually is trying to sell you on Warner Brothers. It's trying to sell you on HBO Max. That's what it's trying to sell you. Because the plot of the movie is that LeBron James' son gets kidnapped by Don Cheadle. Don't ask questions. That's what happened. And he has to go to Warner Brothers.
Don Cheadle's in this?
Don Cheadle's the bad guy in this movie, like the main bad guy.
Oh, no shit. I just watched that other movie on HBO Max this weekend. It's on No Sudden Move. Don Cheadle was in that.
Yeah, I heard he's really good in that.
Yeah, it's good. It was a good flick. Yeah. It was crime. It wasn't a comic book movie, unless I say Ed Brubaker wrote it. It's a crime noir. Don Cheadle's like a gangster and shit, and there's robbery.
I mean, that's right up his alley. I mean, that crime noir is right up Brubaker's alley. So
I mean, it's something like if you like Ed Brubaker, then comic fans might like this.
But that's the thing about this movie, because since LeBron can't act, Don Cheadle kind of like carries the load for this movie, because you expect him to, because so he's overacting, he's hamming up, chewing up scenery, and you expect it. I mean, Don Cheadle brings it. Don Cheadle carries the movie. And
he was on a green screen. What did he expect?
I mean, but that's true. But a lot of time with green screen act, a lot of actors say they can't really bring that because there's nothing there. So they have a hard time to react to stuff. Meanwhile, Don Cheadle was like over the top. He was just over the top, but it was awesome, the shit he was doing. I mean, it was just funny. Other stuff that was going on in this movie. Let me see if I can get to it. Like it was little Easter eggs and nods. Because like I said, you know how you watch Marvel movies and DC movies, like they have these Easter eggs you see? Well, this movie has like LeBron-isms. Like you see this little scene when Lola Bunny was throwing him an alley-oop at the end of the game. This is actually a nod to back when, when he played for Miami.
Oh, nods. I thought you meant Nas, the rapper.
Oh, no, not Nod. No, not N-O-D. Yeah, but it's less like that. So that's the thing that was going on with that. So I thought that was, and it's all through the movie. Like I said, I'm not going to post every single one. That's all through the movie. However, Eli, there was one cringeworthy moment that happened in the movie, and I got to show it to you. It's this scene. The notorious P.I.G. This scene right here, I was just like, no, why are you doing that? I was like, the whole time while watching that. However,
was he Pig Papa or something?
That's a Notorious P.I.G. That's what Porky Pig was. That was a name in there. However, I came around to it because somebody on the internet, because that's what the internet does, took it and they put the 8 Mile freestyle from Eminem over that. And I was like, that shit pretty funny, you know. so that's what's going on with that movie. So like I said, there's a lot of Easter eggs going on to it.
Well, at least the Looney Tunes weren't racist in this.
Well, Speedy Gonzalez is in this.
Okay.
I thought for sure Speedy Gonzalez was going to get canceled. He was going to be not in this, but yeah, he was there. So I was like, okay. So even though Pepe Le Pew,
what about Slowpoke? Slowpoke Rodriguez.
I don't know Slowpoke. I didn't I didn't make it that far in it. But yeah. Oh, there's some other scene. Like I said, they all drop into Warner Brothers movies, like Wile E. Coyote and Roadrunners and Mad Max Fury Road. That shit was funny when they show up, and he's dressed like like what a lovely day. He's dressed like that.
Oh, the War Boys or whatever.
The War Boy, whatever they call. Yeah. So I thought that was pretty funny.
Witness or whatever. That sounds clever.
Yeah. So like I said, it's jokes in there back and forth. It's there. It's Looney Tunes. The whole point is the Looney Tunes to be loony. It's not to have a deep story or to, be a tear jerk or anything like that. Just to be wacky and stupid as fuck, and that's it. And for the most part, that's what it was. So I think as a kid, I'm thinking like if I was a 10-year-old and I saw this, would I like this? I think I would. I think 30 years from now,
do you think the 10-year-olds would give a shit about the Looney Tunes though?
I don't know. I don't know what 10-year-olds in. Because that's the thing, like when we were younger, Looney Tunes was the shit. Looney Tunes was everywhere. Now you don't really see Looney Tunes anymore. So I don't know if Looney Tunes branding is in there. I don't know if they was making this movie to kind of get Looney Tunes back into the general population of people's, memory. I don't know. I don't know what Warner Bros. Was kind of do, but I know when we were younger, Looney Tunes was everywhere. Now maybe they will. Maybe they'll watch this and give a shit about Looney Tunes. So I don't know. Some people are taking the movie a little bit too seriously because I've even seen people post stats about Jordan, how Jordan performed in the basketball game in his game versus LeBron James. Jordan Jordan was 22 of 22 with no assists. LeBron was 4 or 5, so he missed a point, had a turnover. So they using this as comparing it. This is why Jordan is better because he performed better in this game than LeBron did. Because Bugs Bunny kind of carried him in this movie. Like in the basketball game. I'm not going to spoil it, but that's what happened. So overall, Eli, I have fun. Everybody is trashing this movie just because it's just fun to just trash everything nowadays. It's a kid's movie. It's not trying to be Lion King. You're not going to become a better person coming out of this movie. It's stupid shit. I had fun with it. Overall, 3.5 out of 5. That's what I give it. So that's me. Can I do one more review? A quick one.
Go ahead.
Do a quick. Okay. This is on the soundtrack because that's the thing, because they also put the soundtrack on there. And one thing about the soundtrack is that on these like this first Space Jam, the first soundtrack was a classic. It had all these artists on there, like the Tootsie Roll guys. They did the "Come On Everybody."
Oh yeah, right? Yeah.
I think I fucked the song up, but whatever. Yeah, but anyway, the song was everywhere. Now here's the thing, Eli. So I'm listening to this album. And I don't know, Eli. I think my ears are starting to get old and shit because they got a whole bunch of new artists on it, just like, like, because there's a whole bunch of like women rappers out there right now. So like one named Saweetie or something like that. I didn't know she was a rapper. I just know I follow her on TikTok. She just do a whole bunch of twerk videos. So it's like, she's a rapper. So I listen to the song, and sometimes no, she's not much of one. No, just stick to twerk videos.
Rapping about thought shit.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, Hot Girl Summer, all that shit like that. So that's it. Yeah, pretty much that. I'm like, what am I listening to? Now, there was a few songs that caught my attention, like the weird one with Kirk Franklin and Lil Baby. That's a weird combination, like a half hardcore gangster rap / gospel song, but it works. So I don't know. But there is one thing that this album is missing, Eli. R. Kelly.
Oh shit!
I know he's canceled, but he's missing from this album. Because the first album, R. Kelly had the best song on there. But we're not allowed to admit that. We could get canceled just by saying that R. Kelly had the best song.
Ooh, get the booty song, booty, booty. Boo-hoo-tee.
Really fuck. I don't know what inspired him to write that song because I'm almost scared to ask, but I'll probably get a lawsuit just even bringing that up. But yeah, that's all I got. So soundtrack. Now, like I said, now compared to both of them, honestly, Eli, I like this movie with LeBron James better than I like the first movie. That's me. By a slight edge. I think the message was better. More crazy shit. Justice League show up. LeBron tried to, when he goes to Toon World and he has to play basketball game, he tried to recruit Justice League. He like, okay, give me Superman, give me King Kong, give me Aquaman. But Bugs Bunny so Bugs Bunny like screws him over and ended up getting the Toon World. But he tried to get the Justice League first when he tried to get a King Kong, also like that. But yeah, that's what's going on with that. So yeah, that's all I got. So I'm gonna let you take over there. So you watched the movie.
Oh, yeah, I watched. Yes.
I don't like surprising you on your own topic. So yeah.
I watched Fear Street Part 3.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Netflix, they had the R.L. Stine Fear Street series. I guess they were books. He had Goosebumps, which is for little kids, Fear Street, which was for young adults, teenagers and shit. Went a little harder than the Goosebumps. I've been digging the movies, and I said, fuck it. On Kindle, there was a sale. I was like, fuck it. I'm going to read a Fear Street book. And I did, just to see what the hubbub was about. And yeah, it was cute, fluffy, teeny bopper, soap opera, horror shit for kids, But the Netflix show, though, it goes way harder than teeny bopper shit. It's
okay. So the books weren't like R-rated or anything like that? Or?
Yeah, I mean, there's people die. I read the one about cheerleaders and they're like dying and shit. And yeah, it goes into the mythology of Sarah Fear and all that shit, possessing and the town curse and stuff. These movies aren't based on any one story. It's just sort of, inspired by the series. So it takes place in that town of Shadyside. It references Sarah Fear and the town curse and all that. So
Sarah Fear is the name of the monster or boogeyman.
Yeah, is the name of the witch in the story. So Netflix released a trilogy. They've been going on these past 3 weeks. It started out with part 1 took place in 1994. Then we did a flashback of 1978, and then part 3 we went back to the source where the curse started, 1666. And they're just basically homages to the horror genre, particularly the slasher genre. Really diving into the tropes of slasher films, making nods and meta references horror fans will totally pick up on, but then also subverting our expectations. And that's what I liked about it, is it went in places that I didn't expect. It basically threw you the scenario that you're familiar with, but then flopped it on its head. And I had a good time, and this last one wrapped it all up, and I gotta say, it stuck to landing. They really ended us off well. We got to the source of the curse. Basically, what's been going on is the town has been cursed by this witch named Sarah Fear. She put a curse on this town and basically possesses people to commit mass murder sprees every 12 years or so throughout the town. In 1994, a group of kids uncover the curse and basically figure out a way to stop it. And in the part 3, we go back to the source. Now, it turns out, I'm spoiling it now, so spoilers if you haven't seen this. It turns out that Sarah Fear was not a witch and did not put the curse on the town. It turned out the sheriff put a curse on. He was in league with the devil and doing devil shit, and he put the curse. And
okay, so this is like at the beginning. Okay.
Yeah, so to consume wealth and his family. Yes. Spoilers. It's been over 24 hours, so hey.
Let's see.
Yeah. Chief Queef, what up? Yeah, Sarah wasn't a witch. And you can kind of tell that's what was going on. So basically that's what happened. The first half of the movie takes place back in the Quaker days, like the period pilgrims and shit like that, the old timey, era of the 1600s. There's like a satanic panic in the town, this little village, and witchy shit's going on. They basically accuse this woman Sarah of being a witch, and they try to persecute her and all that stuff. But it turns out she was framed by the sheriff. He was the one who put the curse on the town, and that's what basically has come to light. And then the last half of the movie, we go back to 1994, so we revisit the characters from the first part, and then they basically end the curse. We got the big, huge. So what happens is every so often, every 10 years or whatever, the demons like basically possess these people, and they become slashers. And then at the end of this movie, a bunch of slashers basically rise from the grave and they attack. So it's like Night of the Living Slashers. That's what I've been wanting the whole time. So all the slashers kind of come, and there's like a battle inside them all. And I was just loving it. The character, I really got into the characters. I really, as a horror fan, I really got into the whole, the references and even though you can kind of say the little boy with the bat was, that little kid, he was pretty cool. There was, all those, the milkman, there was a milkman slasher from the 50s who went insane and killed a bunch of housewives. And he was called the Milkman, but he looked like Slappy. Now, I don't know if anybody remembers, I read these to my kid when he was little, the Goosebumps. There was that Slappy, that doll. It was kind of like a ventriloquist doll that came to life, kind of like a Chucky,
Is that just from the
from Goosebumps? But anyways, that slasher guy, the Milkman, kind of looked like the Slappy doll. So that, I don't know, that's what I saw. I don't know if anybody else caught that, but I had a good time with it. I think we got a new classic slasher series here, and it goes into, I like that it goes into and gives you a reason why slashers can't be killed. You know how Michael Myers keeps coming back, Jason Voorhees keeps coming back, Freddy Krueger, Chucky, all these slashers are driven by a supernatural force. Mm-hmm. This movie kind of sheds light, kind of gives you that, gives it a little origin. I thought that was kind of cool, So I loved it. I loved all three movies. And this really stuck the landing, and I had a good time. So 4 out of 5.
Cool. Okay. So we're going to keep that going. What do we got? Trying to send this. That's what I'm trying to do. Okay. So what do we got next on topic? What do we got next on deck? Oh, you ready? Let's do it. Before we jump into it, let's go ahead and just talk about Loki. We're just gonna talk about Loki season finale because we never actually talked about it. So we have to get a chance here. Gay, it's weird coming YouTube. Gay, we got blocked. I don't know what I did. I did something, but
and I remember earlier today I was clicking on the link for Gomo's podcast on Facebook, and it kept saying link not available. So then I went to YouTube. So maybe that's happening now. Maybe Facebook is blocking streams now or something.
That sucks. I don't know what's going on because I didn't do anything normally what I normally do, but I know we're good on Twitch. No, we're good on YouTube. I just pulled that up. But anyway, I don't know. We're gonna power on. We're gonna power through and just see what we got here. So Eli, let's talk about the big reveal. Let's talk about Loki because you never had a chance to talk about Loki. So before we get into it, say what you want to say about Loki, the TV show.
You're putting me on the spot. I thought the show was just okay. I really wasn't into it that much. Not as much as WandaVision or
blasphemer. You say that about Marvel?
I know. I'm a hater. I'm one of them pretentious haters that can't stand shit and be that edgy guy. I'm one of those guys. Yeah. No. No, I just wasn't into it. I wasn't into I felt like there was no point to the show other than setting up more important shit. You know what I mean? I was like, if you're going to give me a time travel show, why not make it? I said that first episode. Why isn't this about Kang? Why isn't this about Dr. Doom? Why isn't it about a time travel character instead of just throwing Loki in this? If you want a character study on Loki where we're trying to find out why he doesn't want to be lonely or whatever the fuck they were going with, we could have did some Asgardian shit. Bring back his family. You know what I'm saying? Like the Black Widow movie. We went and saw her family. and found out why she's the way she is. You know, this I just felt like it was kind of just the greatest hits. We're just showing a bunch of, you know, Easter eggs and, you know, the flashy shit to make us nerds go, ooh, I know what that is. It's that and that, and it's this and that. And
I mean, but that's the lifeblood of Marvel to begin with.
Yeah, and at least, but I just felt there was no purpose to it other than we're just gonna set up Kang. And I guess the Kang for me, the reveal. We want to talk about the reveal?
Yeah, Marvel already spoiled it. Yeah, it's
okay. So the Kang reveal, I thought was a little lackluster. You know, I thought I thought it was a little lackluster for me because I'm like, oh, now it's Kang.
Like the last episode, right?
The last time, oh, now it's Kang. Like Loki don't even know who the fuck he is. Why he at that point in the story, Loki he posed really no threat to Loki other than I'm gonna tell you why I'm a bad guy or whatever. And for all Loki knows, I was sitting there thinking, is he really Kang, or is this another variant? Is this another?
Well, that's saying he wasn't Kang, right? He wasn't Kang.
Yeah, I was like, is he really this, or it could be another Loki again, and blah blah blah. Because you know we just saw Taskmaster get fucked up last week, so I'm like, are they fucking up Kang now? So I don't know. Right. I was just like, it was I appreciated I've been waiting for Kang. I always thought Kang was a cool character. I've been waiting for him to show up, or a big Marvel villain like Kang. A Kang size Marvel villain to show up, and I just felt like, oh, here's Kang, and it's just kind of anticlimactic, in a way.
Well, that's the thing, because it wasn't Kang, but it wasn't like a screw you moment like they did with Black Widow and Taskmaster. This was Immortus. So that's why I was saying in a video I did. Yeah, so Immortus was like the last old man version of Kang that's good and don't give a shit anymore. That's what. Matter of fact, if you look at the way he was dressed, he was pretty much dressed just like Immortus was. So that was pretty cool. He's basically saying, if you kill me, Kang will come. And I just love the conversation, because think about it. Most of the episode was not a big fight scene, not a big boom bam, so like that, because that's what the last episode was. With classic Loki, rebuilding Asgard and smoke monster, stuff like that. This was just almost like, a dinner with Andre, like a stage play.
Yeah,
like
he kind of just like kind of almost like the Wizard of Oz in a way, like I'm behind all this shit. And
actually, yeah, it was Wizard of Oz, because they kept making reference to the man behind the curtain, but actually, he was Willy Wonka. That's what he was. If you think about it, the same way he was dressed, the mannerisms, the way he was just acting and screwing around like that.
Well, but Willy Wonka was along for the ride the whole movie, I guess. That's what I'm saying. It's like
not really. No, not really, because Willy Wonka didn't even appear until like the last act of the movie.
No, he was with them the whole time.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, he took remember he took him down the boat and the tunnel and shit. And
I mean, yeah, he was with them at the end, but during the journey for them to get there, Gene Wilder wasn't there. He
doesn't show up until they get to the factory. I'm just saying
he doesn't show up till they get to the factory. Exactly. I didn't hate it, but I prefer my Kang like the one on Avengers. That's what I'm saying. It wasn't Kang, Gag. That's what I'm saying. You're gonna get that. That's coming.
Yeah, that's another thing. It's like, do I gotta wait 10 years to see Kang kick some ass like we did with that?
Like I said, they're showing you, like, that's what I'm saying, because since more variants are coming, they're basically telling Jonathan Majors that every time you see a different variant Kang, he's going to have a different personality. That's basically what they're saying. So you're going to see him ruthless, you're going to see him goofy, you're probably going to see him nice, you're probably going to see him whatever the fuck. They got plenty of stuff they can do with Kang, So, but the thing is, Eli, just the fact that they race change Kang, it brings up a lot of questions.
I get, yeah, he is white, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, he's white.
But then he also became a pharaoh, so
that brings up questions also. Like I said, lots of questions. That is true. The way acted that Thor, Brandon McKnight out the Flash. Brandon, I don't know who that is. Is that the goofy black dude on there? I'm pretty sure it's the goofy black dude on there. So CW has a goofy black dude on every show. So yeah, so it gotta be him. So yeah,
I will admit, I was like, oh, is this Kang? Really? This is I okay. Now I give a shit when that was revealed.
I was excited that they did it. They didn't pull a Mephisto on us this time. They actually gave us Kang. They dropped breadcrumbs the whole time, and they actually
because remember when I first said that, when the first episode, I was like, oh, it would be cool if the variant they're looking for is Kang. If is this motherfucker going around fucking up everything? I called that in episode 1, and I was hoping Kang would be here, but then he didn't, and then all that other shit happened. Frog Thor and Alligator Thor and whatever, all this other flashy, foofy shit. Then all the nerds went, ooh! And,
copter!
Yeah, all this shit. I know what that is. Ooh, best show ever! And yeah. And then at the end, I was like, okay, here's Kang. I'm like, but that's it. That's all the Kang we got. Now we got to wait for fucking Ant-Man to see more of them. Shit.
Right. And it may be Kang, may not be Kang. We'll see how it goes from there.
Yeah.
But that's the reason I'm saying, because it brings up questions about, he was a pharaoh in the comics and all stuff like that. But like I said, he's also like the great grandson of Reed Richards. So are they gonna?
Oh, that's right. And it was the Council of Kang. Wasn't there a Council of Kangs?
There's Council of Kang. So everybody knows about the Council of what was it on the Flash?
Reeds.
The Council of Reeds, and then you have Rick and Morty, the Council of Ricks.
Yeah.
And then on Flash, you have the Council of Whales, where Kang did it first. Like way back in the 80s, the Council of Kangs. It was a thing where all the Kangs meet together and they hash it out and talk stuff like that. They even briefly talk about it in the TV show. So I want to see that. Give me Council of Kangs. Give me an episode with Jonathan Majors, just hundreds of them, just talking to each other,
Or just being just posing up. I guess this was a pretty cool threat. I guess
but no. But that's the thing. That's what I'm trying to say, is that Immortus is not a threat. This is the cool version of Kang. This is the chill version.
The good Kang.
Good-ish. Yeah, it's about as good as it gets. Yeah. Like you said, we're all villains, but so this is about as good as Kang get. But he's already said, if you get rid of me, way worse ones are coming. So yeah, Kang is coming.
I just remember, I'm just saying, like, as a fan, as a cop, like, this goes back to when I was a kid. Like, there was an issue, I think, of an Avengers issue, or was a Fantastic Four issue that I had as a kid, and it was like Kang back in the dinosaur times, and I like loved that panel, and I was really into dinosaurs as a kid. When I first learned to read, I read all about dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs.
Yeah,
everybody wanted to be a paleontologist,
Yeah, me too. Yeah, and then there was that comic with Kang where he was in dinosaur, like back in the dinosaur times, and I thought it was the coolest shit. Like when Secret Wars dropped, he was one of the first figures I bought. Those Marvel Secret Wars figures that dropped in the 80s. He was Kang. I want him.
Riding a dinosaur.
So finally getting to see him all these years later, and I'm like, really? That's it?
Yeah. All I'm saying, he wasn't Kang. That's all I'm saying. Kang is coming. Kang.
Then I even hate it even more now. I am that edgy guy, that pretentious fucking, gotta hate everything on shit now.
Cliff's not here, so you got to fill the void. So yeah. All right. But like I said, it brings up questions. So I don't know if they're gonna make Reed Richards, black, or Franklin. Man, if they make Franklin,
Ahmad Best, did you hear that shit? Ahmad Best.
Yeah, he wants to be Reed Richards. That's not I get sick of these news articles reporting such and such wants to play such and such. Yes, he wants a job. That's not news. I want to be Reed Richards. Make a news article about me. Do that. That's not a thing. But
I mean, shit. We had Black Johnny Storm, so what's the difference?
And how'd that work out for them?
He was the best part of that movie, about piece of shit.
That's not saying much. Even he sucked in the movie. I'm not giving Michael B. Jordan a pass on that. Even he sucked, But here's the thing: because Kang is in control of the TVA and he's black, now you got all these memes popping up. Because technically, because the TVA is technically a black-owned business now. Egny Black CEO. Even this one, I thought that was funny. Basically like TVA is like BET now. Even they even made a reference. I saw some long Facebook posts about basically the story is about how Sylvie is like the ultimate Karen who wants to complain to the manager, and so she goes all the way to the end of the earth to find, and it's a black dude there. So yeah, so I don't know. It's other think pieces going on back there. That's all I want to talk about that. So yeah, so Loki, honestly, I feel the same way you do. This wasn't a Loki story. This was a story that had Loki in it. That's the thing. So they had to find something to do with Loki because Tom Hiddleston is a thing. So why not? So yeah.
I mean, and he wasn't bad. Personally, I think Loki stole the movie and everything he was in. He stole the scene and every time he was on screen. And yeah, I just felt at this juncture, they kind of his purpose has been served. The purpose of his character has been served. So this show was just kind of felt redundant in a way, and that's what I felt. It's
Eli, I think that the show did serve as a character study to Loki, and I think it did flesh him out more than what the movies did. Because here's the thing: now it's a metaphor, but Loki had to learn to love himself.
And that's the thing. If we're going to do a character study, I think there was a better story. It could have been told better in a better way, not this time travel sliders, Doctor Who shit that they were doing. Like bring back.
I think that's how he had to learn to love himself. Yeah, I mean, it's because in the first episode he hated himself. He calls himself a cow, something like that. And Sylvie is like, Sylvie is him. They're two parts of the same person.
Yeah, I get all that. I get he wanted to not be alone in the end. He didn't want to be alone in the end, and that's the point of the show, the point of the character. I'm just saying, I wish it could have been told I wish it involved Thor and involved the family and all that stuff that made Loki who he was, and like the Black Panther or Black Widow movie, how we got to see her family and stuff. I just like I said, I would have much rather seen a time travel show with Kang or Doom. So that's just me.
Yeah, but I'm saying you got some weird shenanigans with Alligator Loki. I thought it was cool. It was
it was all it was fluff. In the end, it was fluff, and I just wasn't as involved as like I was with Falcon.
But Eli, we're one step closer to the X-Men. Isn't it all that matters? Isn't it all we care about? Let's see. Honestly, after a while, see if I sign him. Now, I agree to disagree on that, Gabe. Now, Owen Wilson, on the other hand, outshined everybody on the show. It could have just been his show. You want to do timey-wimey time travel shit, just give it to him. Just fuck it. The Mobius and Mobius show. So,
Owen Wilson as Doom. Shit.
Right. Wow. I can see it. All right, Eli, you're up. I'm going to let you have this one. So let's see where you go with this. Yep.
Oh, shit. Yeah. Okay. So Reservation Dogs. This is a new show on FX produced by Taika Waititi, director of Thor or Ragnarok, Jojo Rabbit, What We Do in Shadows. So he's created this show along with Sterling Harjo, who is a Native American comedian, part of the 1491 comedy group. This is a show on FX about kids growing up on a reservation in Oklahoma. They're doing petty crime, thuggery type shit to get out of town, to get off the res. And it's supposed to be like a comedy drama. And they dropped the trailer. I think it looks cool. We're seeing, a who's who of Native actors. Lil Mike and Funny Bone, Mike Bone, the little Native rappers. They were on America's Got Talent a few years ago. They're in the show. It looks like they got songs on the soundtrack too. So I'm just excited. I gotta say, for Native representation, these past couple years we've been coming up a lot. With Blood Quantum and Rutherford Falls. We got Molly Denali, that cartoon now, and Trickster. There's been a lot more Native representation in the media, and I'm all here for it. And I was excited to see this. And it comes on August. It comes out in August on FX, on Hulu.
That's right around the corner. So, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, all right, cool. One more thing you got to talk about. Probably some more stuff also, but because you sent me this one, I'm kind of curious exactly what this is. I didn't care at first until I looked into it. I was like, okay, so what is this?
Chucky.
I mean, can you elaborate?
they're making a Child's Play Chucky TV series. They dropped a little teaser trailer, and it looks pretty cool. They're going back to the source because the remake that came out a year or two ago, whenever the fuck that was kind of shitty.
I was like, they just came out with one of these, and they making another one.
Yeah, it was a remake, and like Mark Hamill did the voice, and instead of him being possessed by voodoo shit, he was like like AI god. He was like a Terminator doll that went wacky and got reprogrammed and started hacking became Cyberdyne Systems and started hacking into the internet and all this bullshit. And, it sucked. But this is going back to the source. It looks like, we're just going back to the source of Chucky, of being a little possessed doll that comes to life and murders people. And that's all we need. Stick to the fucking formula. Quit trying to change shit up. Give us a murdering doll.
Right.
So did you watch the trailer? It was only like 30 seconds or whatever. It's like just a teaser commercial.
I didn't.
No.
Because it's Chucky, and that last movie you told me about with the AI, like another one. I mean, haven't they said all they need to say with Chucky? But I guess it's gonna be
hit or miss. I mean, some of the sequels have been hit or miss. I thought the first two are great. Then the next few aren't as great. I was into Seed of Chucky and The Bride of Chucky, but then Cult of Chucky was aight, and then there was another one, wasn't there? Curse of Chucky or something. I can't remember.
Son of Chucky.
There's Seed of Chucky, and they're hit or miss. They're all pretty campy in the end, but I still like the first two. The first two were the shit, in my book, but are classics. But hey, this looks pretty good. It looks pretty cool. So
cool. Okay. All right. So this is also you.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. The Eli Show. Let me go smoke a cigarette.
I was just finding shit. So Rob Zombie is making a movie on the Munsters. The Munsters, for those you kids who aren't aware, it was an old show back in the 60s? Before my time, but I saw it on reruns. It was like
we all saw TV Land. Yeah.
Herman Munster and Lily Munster. They were a family of monsters living in suburbia, and it was wackiness continues. Eddie Munster, the little werewolf son. We had Grandpa the Dracula. Herman Munster was a Frankenstein. Lily Munster was like a vampira. They had Spot, the pet dragon thing under the stairs and shit.
I barely remember the Monsters. Yeah,
can't be.
I remember the Addams Family, but not the Monsters too much.
Yeah, Addams Family was similar. And the Dragula, their hot rods that they drove in and shit. It was a campy, wacky TV comedy in the 60s. And Rob Zombie, he is making a movie out of it. I'm not a huge fan of his movies. I'm still waiting for him. I know he's a huge horror nerd, but I'm still waiting. And I think I'm waiting for the day for him to make his horror masterpiece, and he hasn't done it yet.
Do you think he has one in him?
Yeah, I can see. But the thing is, and what I feel about, I'm on board for a Rob Zombie Munsters movie. It's just, I hope he doesn't try to turn him into rednecks, because that's what every movie, he's trying to turn, everything into the Texas Chainsaw. That's what he did with Halloween. He remade Halloween. He turned Michael Myers into a redneck, a family of rednecks. His dad was a dick. His mom was a stripper. And who gives a shit? His Devil's Rejects and the House of 1,000 Corpses, that was basically a family of rednecks. 31 was a family of rednecks. This is all he's just trying to make, Hills Have Eyes, House left, Last House on the Left, Texas Chainsaw. That's the kind of movie he wants to make. You're
kind of making the argument of why fanboys shouldn't make movies.
He's trying to make the same one over and over.
Yeah.
I hope he sticks to, stick to the formula and don't try to make the Munsters into backwoods rednecks. That's all. Like, they better not be living in a shack out in the woods. That's all I'm saying. So yeah. We saw some of the concept art, and it looks pretty cool, but we'll see how it goes. I'm not a fan of his movies. I thought Devil's Rejects was cool, but then he ruined it by making a part 3. And so
I made 3 of those. I remember 2, but I don't remember 3. But
House of 1,000 Corpses, then Devil's Rejects, and then he made 3 from Hell, where they all died in the second one, but then he brought them all back and fucked it all up. And so that's just me. I know there's a lot of horror fans that love Rob Zombie, love his music, and I'm just not. Again, I'm not trying to be one of those edgy, pretentious guys that hates shit.
I'm saying, because you hate everything so far.
But I can tell he's very creative. He's got a very creative mind. I know he's a horror fan, and I'm waiting. Like I said, I think he's got one masterpiece in there. They should just let him make a Texas Chainsaw movie because that's what he wants to do. He's turning every movie into Texas Chainsaw. Let him remake the Texas Chainsaw.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right. Now I'm back on deck. Let's go with this one. All right. So back in the Vidjia Game section, we have been slacking off on the Vidjia Game section for a while, Eli, but this time we have a doozy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we got a big one this time. So the thing is, Nintendo, well, we didn't do this last week because Wonder Woman or some other shit came out. They released a new system which has an OLED screen, 7-inch stuff like that. So it's going to be priced at $350. But guess what, Eli? Nobody gives a shit because the Nintendo Switch killer came out 3 days later. And this is the Steam Deck. I might be fucking the name up, but it's called the Steam Deck. So this thing is basically a portable PC in your hand. Whether Nintendo Switch new system is going to be $350, it's going to be $399. It can play any PC game that's on Steam. It's actually more powerful than the PS4, but slightly less powerful than the PS5. You can even though it has the Steam OS on it, you can actually download Xbox Live to it. So you can play Xbox games on it. Just play it, just boom, 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 and they look better than the regular Xbox will. Like I said, PlayStation has some things going on where they're trying to move their PC games over to PC if they can. Do that too. Fully
I heard
customizable.
you could also hook it up to your TV and then play it on your TV and shit.
Oh yeah, easily. You can do that. You have Steam Link with it like that. It's crazy. It's the stuff they're doing. It's now the thing is with Steam, they stepped into this, in the ring before with these type of consoles like the Steam Box, completely fell flat on its ass. So hopefully this does a little bit better. It doesn't run over, it doesn't overheat. It feels good because Steam is awesome at software. But their hardware, they kind of suck. I have one of their controllers. It's over there right now. I won't show it this week. I'll show it next week and show you how terrible that shit looks. But yeah, but that's what we got.
How's it feel though?
Terrible. Matter of fact, hold on. I'm about to show you. I'm about to put you on, Eli. Boom. There you go.
And ladies and gentlemen, we are now presenting you with Leroy and his shitty game controller. What
you're gonna do like a review or some shit like that?
I was introducing you, man. I was giving you.
Oh,
I was doing like a man, dude.
You were doing American Got Talent or some shit. Okay, so this bullshit right here, this Steam controller, and I know we need to get to the comic book section, but I gotta show you this shit because I bought this shit for $5. It was on sale for Steam for $5,
and you're still mad.
I'm still fucking mad. Look at this bullshit, man. This is a bullshit ass controller. It's got these like flimsy ass things on it. You can hear it. It feels like if I crack it on the table right now, it'll break. This shit is terrible. So Steam, do better. I'm like Captain, like Falcon on Winter Soldier. You got to do better, Steam. Don't do this bullshit.
Yeah, it does kind of look like a hairdryer.
This shit feels plastic as fuck, man. I bought this shit. I'm just like, no. Look, there's only one dual stick. They don't even have another one over here. It's just like a pad. What the fuck is this Gordon Gartrell bullshit that Steam sold me? So yeah,
Gordon Gartrell.
That's some old school shit. On some.
You just referenced Bill Cosby, motherfucker.
Oh, we're canceled now. We're already canceled because the show's been banned on Facebook.
No one got that shit but me, I'm sure.
Right. I'll get back to fighting Leroy Steve. You can still fight me in Street Fighter 5. It's PC, PlayStation, all that stuff like that. So yeah, Gabe, step up. We'll stream it.
Yeah, when you rage quit and throw that across the room, that shit's gonna shatter like a motherfucker.
Right. It won't even break the TV. It'll break on the TV. Oh man, can we move on to the next part of the podcast?
Yeah.
All right. Like I said, this is Comic Book Bullies, where we talk about the comic books. And Eli, I'm gonna let you go first because you always have more books than I do. Yeah.
Okay. I thought we were gonna do Spidey first. But okay, I'll go first.
Wait, you want to do Spidey? We can do Spidey.
Yeah, I thought you can go first. We're gonna do Spidey. We both do Spidey.
We both do Spidey. We're doing Spidey right now. Okay. All right, so we're gonna jump into it. We're actually not doing Spider-Man. We're doing a crossover or a mini-series event called Sinister War.
Event. Yeah, it's an event.
It's an event. It's an event. So it's outside of the main content. Well, no, it's in the continuity story. I think this is Nick Spencer's like swan song, like his grand opus. Like this.
Well, it's got the Mephisto shit. I figure it's tying into that whatever the Avengers shit that's happening.
Actually, it's not. It's not at all.
Oh.
This is all Spider-Man shit. I'll talk about it in a second what's going on. So let's get to it. The Sinister War. Let me see if I can get into it. I'm gonna pull this bad boy up and show you exactly what's going on with this thing. Because this is all tied into Spider-Man. So it actually ties back to Spider-Man and Mary Jane with some bullshit that happened with them. So yeah, so this is Sinister War, and I think this is pretty much Nick Spencer wrapping up his run on Spider-Man. Thank God. I'm ready for him to get rid of this shit because whatever the hell he's doing, I don't care. But yeah, let's just jump into it. All right. So moving forward, we go to Las Vegas and we see Doctor Strange talk to Mephisto because for people that haven't been keeping up with Marvel Comics the last 2-3 years, Mephisto runs Las Vegas because, of course, he would. You know, some
Sin City.
Shit. It's Sin City, so of course he would run Las Vegas. So Doctor Strange walked into it. I know what you did, devil. You know, he's like, what do you mean what I did? I can't take anything from anybody. It has to be given to me willingly. You know, that's all it said right there. So we know what Mephisto's talking about. So let me just give a quick backstory of what's going on. So what Mephisto is talking about is One More Day. It's a story where basically Peter Parker sold his marriage to Mephisto to save Aunt May. That's why Mary Jane and Peter Parker aren't married anymore. And they don't even remember being married because they sold them. So everything that happened while they were married, deleted, retcon, out of there. Like I said, Marvel doesn't do hard reboots. They do soft reboots.
I did not know that.
That is a thing. It is people have categories. It is the worst Spider-Man story ever told. And since then, it was actually mandated that Peter Parker and Mary Jane actually have to be separated. They didn't get back together until this Nick Spencer story where they even started being in a relationship, you know. So moving forward, go back to what we're talking about. Okay. So Mephisto and Doctor Strange are having a bargain right now, and that's when we get to the Sinister War. And Mary Jane is working the red carpet. For those that don't read the comics and only knows the MCU or whatever that shit Spider-Man, Sony did with Spider-Man, Mary Jane in the comics is a supermodel and an actress, a very famous one.
And white.
So and white, right, with red hair. So she's working the red carpet. Peter Parker is her +1. She's there in her movie, and that's when he gets stopped by what's the guy's name? Chase McKnight. Cage McKnight. Cage McKnight is Mary Jane's producer, director. Damn, Mary Jane look good. I know I shouldn't be listening at the cartoon character, but you know what, Eli? You know how we used to always talk about like X-Men and shit like that? Like that was their plot. The Spider-Man books, like the way Todd McFarlane used to draw Mary Jane, I was like, shit. Anyway, sidebar. What were we talking about? Okay, so anyway, Cage McKnight brings Mary Jane into the thing, you know, and while Peter Parker, you know, walking him go in, he's like, tonight I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna pop the question. He's got the wedding ring in his hand. He was like, I was gonna do it earlier, but always some supervillain pops up and stop me from doing what I was gonna do. So tonight, after because they had a movie premiere, she like, when the movie premiere is over and the lights turn back on, I'm gonna be on bended knee and I'm gonna ask her hand, you know, in marriage after the scene. That's what go. But while they're doing all that, that's when you got the Savage Six, you know, ready to put in work. Now I know some of these guys, King Cobra is a Captain America villain. I don't even know that that dinosaur dude back there, but it doesn't matter. We're gonna move past that. Yeah. So,
I know Tarantula, Scorpion, Rhino, Vulture.
Yeah, you know the old
King
classics.
Cobra.
Like that.
Who is that?
But those guys,
who is
those
that
guys
guy?
are kind of like they're kind of like a B-list.
Is that the Lizard?
I think so. Anyway, yeah.
Like
so
a
you
new
got
version of the Lizard? Because then they separate the Lizard from Kurt Connors.
Oh, is that? Yeah, they did do that. So that's
Yeah.
who that is. Okay. So I'm thinking it's like some villain from the 90s I didn't know. So that makes more sense. Okay. So yeah, so the movie premiere is about to start, and spider senses go off, and you know what that means? Boom, the Savage Six goes crazy. So yeah, I guess that is the Lizard, I guess. But anyway, Vulture is here to kill Cage McKnight. He's like, I'm coming to get you. You screwed us over. And you know what? Because of that, and they just start blasting people, stuff like that. While everybody's running, Peter Parker, goes into the back room while Mary Jane is helping people, and she is about to get attacked by Tarantula. I always kind of like Tarantula, but he's definitely like a lower tier Spider-Man villain. And apparently Mary Jane kicked his ass before the way she's talking. She like, you don't want to go at me again, Tarantula. And then while it's going on, Spider-Man shows up, boom, kicks Tarantula's ass, talk shit to him. But then Scorpion comes out of nowhere, tags him. Rhino comes out of nowhere and hits Spider-Man again. So he's just getting his ass kicked. And then they're all holding Spider-Man back while Vulture's about to kill Mary Jane. And that's when Cage McKnight reveals himself to be Mephisto. I'm sorry, Mysterio. I'm getting these guys confused. Yeah. So he was like, "What the hell you doing here?" He like Vulture basically saying, "Mysterio, you screwed me over. You're gonna do this." And they fight. And while they're fighting, Dr. Octopus shows up. He wasn't even in the fight, but he shows up all of a sudden, and he shows up with the Sinister Six. Oh, there's Lizard.
Oh, who the fuck is
the
that?
dinosaur guy? I don't know who the dinosaur guy is. We'll wiki him later on. Anyway, but you got the real Sinister Six here, not the C tier team they had before. So they're going at it, and Spider-Man's just like, the fuck. So you got the Sinister Six fighting the Savage Six. So it's like a supervillain civil war. So while they're doing all this fighting and stuff like that,
Stegron, the dinosaur man.
Yeah, he's lame. Okay. So we go to
first
that.
appearance, 1974. Damn. So he
what? The hell? I've never heard of that guy before. Never heard of him.
I never heard.
They digging in the crates with this one. So Spider-Man goes down to Mary Jane. He was like, "Mysterio, I'm gonna get you for brainwashing Mary Jane and starring in your shitty movie." And then she's like, "Peter, stop. I knew the whole time." And first she says Peter in front of him like it ain't nothing, so I guess Mysterio knows this, whatever. He was like, yeah, I knew Mysterio was in charge of the movie set the whole time, but he's a good guy now, and then Spider Sister goes off again, and then when he dies is because because I guess Sandman knocked Rhino and Spider-Man's trying to get him out the way. And so Mysterio's trying to tell him there's way more stuff going on that you don't know about. And that's why I'm trying to help you out. But the devil always gets his due or something like that we try. But Spider-Man didn't know what he's talking about. So he keeps fighting. And the thing is, Dr. Octopus, last time we saw Dr. Octopus, he was actually a good guy in Spider-Man's clone body. But now he's old and fat again. I don't know.
He's OG Doc Ock.
He's OG Doc Ock again, even though he was a good guy in Peter Parker's body. But whatever, he's here. So Dr. Octopus is beating his ass. He's like, this how I always been, always will be. Craven the Hunter is getting them. Spider-Man is still fighting off everybody while this war is going on. And Mysterio is like, this is the only way to keep you safe. And they teleport out of there. And that's when he tells them the devil always gets to do. So he's trying to hint at him that Mephisto's been behind this whole thing. It's Mephisto all along, And, Spider-Man still getting his ass whooped. Man, did I miss the part where King Cobra fight? Anyway, I missed the part where King Cobra starts beating Spider-Man's ass. Spider-Man's just like, King Cobra, what the hell are you doing here? You're a Captain America villain. You're like, yeah, you're right. So he steps back and lets Rhino beat the shit out of him. So Spider-Man wakes up. Kendrick is there. Kendrick is Harry Osborn reborn as a zombie bad guy, whatever. And he like, this is all your fault, Peter. Blah, 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 does like that. And while that is going on, he knocks him in the room and he sees all the dead people he's seen before. He sees MJ. He sees Norman Osborn. Spider just goes off, and that's when he sees the rest of his bad guys. You got Taskmaster. You have Hydro Man. Black Ant. I thought he was dead. Anyway. Wizard. He was just in the Squadron Supreme book. Black Panther slashed his knees, and now he's back like there ain't nothing wrong. Fuck it. Who cares? There's the Dr. Octopus from the Spider-Verse movie.
Oh, yeah. The female Doc Ock, yeah.
And the rest of these folks. Chance from the McFarlane. Shocker, he's gonna be the first to get his ass whooped. So basically, Jack-o'-lantern. So all these guys are here, and just so basically every other Spider-Man villain just here to just beat his ass. So just like
so is this Kindred guy? They think it's Harry, but Harry was still in Ravencroft though. So is it this thing?
I thought that was Norman in Ravencroft.
No, that's Harry. But I think because they separated Kurt from Lizard. I think that's what happened with Kindred and Harry. Like they separated.
Oh yeah, you know more about this Spider-Man shit than
I think that's what's happening. I mean, I haven't read this in a while, and I dropped it a while ago, so I don't. I just jumped on because it was an event. I was oh cool, a bunch of Spider-Man villains, cool.
Yeah, like maybe it'd be something easy to jump in, but it's like no, you got to know this Nick Spencer shit he's been doing.
Yeah,
so, like I said, he's wrapping up his story. So basically, we got Doctor Strange and Mephisto basically gambling for Peter Parker's soul, and it looked like they're playing a game of roulette. You're like, okay, I got red, you got black. Whoever wins gets the soul. Are you feeling lucky? Boom, begin. So yeah, that's what's going on. So honestly, what I was expecting this to be, Eli, was just a sinister, like Spider-Man bad guy villains fighting Spider-Man bad guy villains, but Spider-Man was going to be barely in it. Like it ain't about Spider-Man, but this seemed like it's about Spider-Man, and that's where the confusing part. Just give me the bad guys. Just have them beat the shit out of each other. So he gave his body up to Mephisto. That sounds so wrong, Gabe. The midget he was at to
save the midget he was in love with. Who?
The
Harry?
Spider-Man love was who was in love with the midget? What midget?
Huh? Where's Harry Osborn? He's asking where's Harry? Then he says he gave his body up. Harry gave his body up for a midget? Or what the fuck is that?
Well, yeah, okay, you can see what Nick Spencer is right now. So what midget? I don't know. Oh man! So we're not a fan of Spencer's run on this, so we don't know what the fuck's going on. You know how you playing a video game you have played in months, and you come back on to like the 8th level and just dumping into you, and you don't know what the fuck going on. That's what this feels like. Nick Spencer just throw us in the deep end. We're gonna Gabe, please let us know what the hell is going on. What midget?
Ock.
Ock was in love with a midget, or is Ock the midget? I don't. That'd be cool,
Okay, yeah, this sounds awesome. If Harry's in love with Doc Ock,
right? Where's that book? Was that for Pride Month? What was that? I don't know.
They'd sure do something like that.
Hey, and got to remember Penguin and Riddler had a thing. Anyway, sidetrack. You're up now. So what do you got?
All right. Did you rate this? Did you like it?
Yeah. I was onto it until Gabe started talking about midgets and shit. So I'm talking about 3.5 out of 5. I guess I was into it, but yeah.
Yeah. I guess I'll do Star Wars War of the Bounty Hunters #2.
Cool. Okay.
So this takes place between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. Boba Fett had Han Solo frozen in carbonite, but then he got it stolen from Crimson Dawn, the crime syndicate we saw in the Solo movie. Now, Jabba put a bounty on him. And then he also put another bounty on Solo. And every bounty hunter in the galaxy, every thug in the galaxy is after Han Solo. But Crimson Dawn got him, and they're going to hold an auction. This big, giant space auction for the highest bidder to claim Solo. And every crime syndicate in the galaxy are at this auction trying to get him back. And even Dr. Aphra, this is crossing over everything. The Hutts are there. Boba Fett showed up. Lando and Chewie are there with Leia and all that. The auction is going on. Everybody's wheeling and dealing and trying double crossing. But at the end, Darth Vader shows up and says, Captain Solo belongs to me. And I'm like, why?
Didn't he just, like, the whole point was he don't give a shit what happens to Han Solo?
He gave Han Solo the Boba Fett. Like, right, he's the one who froze him.
Like he didn't even care.
Yeah, he's the one who froze him in carbonite and gave him to Boba Fett. Why does he want him back? I don't know. What the hell? I don't because he's trying to get Luke back? Because Luke or something? I don't know. I thought that was kind of dumb. You see what happens when they try to turn Star Wars into this big, stupid soap opera, X-Men soap opera? Stupid shit like this happens.
It's all connected.
Yeah, why? I don't know. And it was like, and that was it. Darth Vader shows up. Solo is mine. And then, and then to be continued. I'm like, why does Vader want him back? Vader had him. Like, what? I don't know. So, yeah. 3 out of 5.
Okay. Oh shit. Yeah. Oh damn, I'm up. Okay.
Okay, what do you say? He was in love with a midget in that clone body.
Yeah, okay. So
Who?
he was in love. I think you're talking about Doc Ock was in love with a midget.
Doc Ock was in love with a midget in that clone body.
Doc Ock was in a clone body. He was in Peter Parker's clone body. Okay. So he was in love with a midget in that clone body to save her. Made it. Oh shit. So Doc Ock made a deal with Mephisto too, just like Peter Parker made a deal with Mephisto. What the man? I'm sick of Mephisto. Man. We wanted Mephisto so bad.
All this devil shit. This devil shit. Once upon a time in Hollywood, that did some devil shit. That's not verbatim.
Right. Could it be Satan? Oh man. So let me get to this book. I don't even know why I bought this book. I don't even like this book. Anyway, I thought it was gonna be better than what it was, but let's see what we got. The book I'm doing next is Infinite Frontier or Infinity Frontier. I can't remember what the fuck it's called.
Oh, is this the Justice League shit?
It's kind of Justice League, but not Justice League. Justice League-ish.
Justice League-ish.
No, it's Justice Incarnate. That's what it's called.
Okay.
Where they kind of show up sometimes. Yeah. So, yeah. Anyway, jump into this book. What do we got here? Like I said, it's Justice League and Infinite Frontier, where it's basically showing what's going on with the multiverse while the regular books deal with the regular stuff like that. We'll just jump into it. And this is the book where I couldn't remember the name of the main chick of the book, but we'll get to it anyway. So anyway, we go to Meanwhile, the Hall of Justice. I gotta always do that. And Earth Zero.
Oh, that's Transformers.
That's Transformers. Yeah. I can't remember the one from what was the name of that show? Super Friends. But they had one. I remember they had one. But anyway, they got a woman named Chase Clark or Clark Chase or Cameron Chase. Cameron Chase is the name. She shows up at the reception desk basically saying, I need help. So of course, everybody points and it's Superman. Superman's just flying over everybody. Like, I knew if I said I was in trouble, you'd help me. But while Superman is there, he takes pictures with the kids and stuff like that. And then she basically starts, saying all kind of weird stuff like, don't you have a prison under this place? And don't you have the Phantom Zone, all stuff like that? So they know each other. I guess she's was in the Bendis book where she tried to arrest Lois Lane or whatever. And she basically asking them what the hell is, because basically the entire world knows about the multiverse now. Everybody knows about the multiverse and everybody's freaking out. And Batman's like, what the hell are you doing here? Are we on the investigation? She's like, nah, not unless you tell me what the hell is going on, So while she's keep grilling them, asking questions, stuff like that, and they're just being standoffish, just like they don't want to say anything to her. All of a sudden they get an alert. It's like, oh yeah, Aquaman and Hawkgirl are dealing with some bullshit on Earth 4. And then while she's asking questions, they just get the fuck out of there, So it's just like, oh, so they act like they want to answer my questions. Okay. So she gets on the phone and she talks to the DEO. The DEO said, we need to do some recruiting. So that's when she pulls up the phone and sees Captain Atom, who was dead before Dark Knight Metal and the multiverse shit, whatever. Rest of the book deals with the alternate versions of Batman and Superman, President Superman, and Flashpoint Batman. So the rest of the story is about them. And they're at the House of Heroes with the Justice Incarnate. And they basically talk about, we need to find out what's going on. So they're talking to Harbinger, who was a big deal in Crisis on Infinite Earths. Not going to go there. Barry Allen is missing. So we need to find out what happened to Barry Allen. And the last place they found him was in Earth 22. So they're going to track him. Oh, and they find out how he got there because he was in Arkham Asylum. Somebody broke him out, shipped him to another planet, whatever. That's what happened to Flash from Batman. Because remember, he was on the regular Earth also fighting Bruce, So they're on Earth 2. They found some ship, and he's basically saying, I don't want to go back to Earth 0. I want to see my son again. If my son thinks I'm dead, cool. Let it be like that, and that's it. So while they're doing that, they run into another bad guy, and the bad guy they fight is Magog, from Kingdom Come. Now, I don't know if Earth 22 is the Kingdom Come Earth. I don't know my Earths as well as I should. Grant Morrison made a map, so I reread that map to make sure what's what. Meanwhile, back on this is I don't care about that shit. Let's get to the end. Yeah, Roy Harper is a Black Lantern. Don't care. This was kind of cool. Okay, so Captain Atom has been recruited to the Air Force, and he meets Cameron Clark, And she basically, asked him all kind of questions. He was just like, "Look, Cameron." Cameron basically asked him like, "Look, you're not the same Captain Adam I remember. Remember that all the missions we used to run back in, Mogadishu or, Iran or whatever like that." He was like, "Yeah, I remember that stuff, but I'm retired. I'm not the same guy anymore." He was like, "That's funny because I've never met you before." So she pulls a gun on, DC's version of Dr. Manhattan, like they're supposed to do some shit, And he just like, well, you caught me. So he like, "So who are you?" He was like, "Look, I don't know what happened to you. I'm from another multiverse Earth. Since I know Captain Adam was dead here, I just hopped over here. But since you found me out, now you caught me." So, and then he just like, "Now you know my secret." And then he says, my favorite line, "Dark side is," and he opens up his suit and boom, flies a nuke over the Air Force. And yeah, that's it. So I don't know why I bought this book. It's kind of slow.
Because Superman was in it on the cover.
Superman and Batman were in it, so I thought it was gonna do something. Hell, Miles. No, goddamn, man. Why does Mephisto keep screwing with people, man? What the hell does?
So Miles is in love with the midget, or is it still
Doc Ock? No. He just made a deal with Mephisto. He's not in love with Doc Ock or me.
So they're just trying to shove Mephisto down our throats now because of WandaVision.
Because we keep asking for Mephisto, so we're like, he's over here.
Everything.
There's a council of Mephistos. Remember? in that book we read. But yeah, what you
got? What do I got? Should I do Batman Detective? Sure. Since you do DC, I'll do Detective.
Sure, because I think I'm DC'd out, but yeah.
Yeah, so I'll do Detective. Detective 1039.
Okay. Get you right there. Boom.
So this continues the whole murder. Batman and Huntress are investigating the murder of what's that dude's name? That mob boss, his daughter. And it turns out it's that guy, Vile, the mayor's advisor. Is this he's got like this weird parasite inside him that turns him into like a Strigoi, this like weird vampire predator face looking thing.
So he's a meta-human. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, would this reveal before then that he had weird?
Yeah, this has been revealed before, but now we get sort of an origin of how he got it. He got it as a kid, and he's always had it. And then he basically said, "Damn, like I said, I read this on Tuesday. What the fuck happened?" So yeah, Batman and the gangster guy. What's the gangster guy's name again? Anyway, they fight. They fight, and he, but then the parasite infects Huntress, and Huntress is fighting Batman. And basically, we get an origin of how that Vile, his name is Vile, how he got the parasite. And he got it as a kid, and he's had it ever since. And basically, he's going to use it to basically get back at the city. He takes out criminals and blames shit on other criminals and stuff. He's got a vendetta against the city. It's something like that. I should have took another look. It's been almost a week since I read it. Like I said, these drop on Tuesday, and but that's him, like Strigoi in The Strain. The Guillermo del Toro and Chuck Hogan, they wrote that book, The Strain. It got turned into a movie. Or, a TV series. Like
Blade 2. Yeah, like Blade 2.
Yeah, they're based on the Reapers from Blade 2. They're like an offshoot of vampires. So, that's what it reminded me of. But, yeah. I remember liking it. I just can't remember the details. So, yeah. Pretty cool. 4 out of 5. So.
Cool. All right. Next book I'm going to do is, and it's my last book I got. I'm booked out after this. Thor number 15? Thor number 15. Okay. Done in case, y'all. I kind of fell off on this book when he did his whole arc there, but it's like a new arc he's doing. So I decided to pick it up, and plus Captain America is on the cover. Let me see if I can show it to you. Captain America's on the cover blocking Mjolnir. And you like, what? What's going on with that? Yeah. So let me see if I can get to that. Yeah. So you got Captain America, Black Ammonia. So you like Captain America versus Thor? That's got to be. So you got me hooked. Like I say, you say you can't sell a book by cover. You sold a book by cover. So let's see what we got here. So book goes on, and apparently the last arc we were dealing with, Thor was fighting Donald Blake. I don't really know the whole thing was going on with that, but apparently Thor was trapped somewhere. So now he's back and they're celebrating, how the Asgardians celebrate, they're throwing chicks at him, stuff like that. He's getting drunk off his ass. The Warrior 3 is there. Loki's there chilling with, is that an alligator? Oh, no, it's Frog Thor. It's Frog Thor. Yeah, Froggy. Okay, so Throg is there, and Thor is just depressed, just looking while everybody else is just drinking their ass off, stuff like that. And then, the fat one, I can't remember what the fat one's name is. What was the name? Hogmere? Hogan? Something. Volstagg, that's his name. So, hey, fat fuck, what are you saying? No, and everybody, he's basically, Thor yells at him. Everybody else gets quiet, and he just gets up and he like, don't worry about me. I'm drunk, So he gets up and leaves, apologizes, and he goes to his room and goes to pick up Mjolnir, but he's struggling to pick up Mjolnir, and apparently Mjolnir attacks him because he yells at him. Yells at it, and then lands on his chest. Now he just stuck there on the ground and he can't get up because Mjolnir is stuck on his chest. So then Loki walks in and Thor's like, close that damn door. And he was like, the hammer's stuck on my chest. I can't move. And Loki's like, you got that drunk? You're like, no, man, I'm not that drunk. I can't move. So Loki picks up the hammer, picks up Mjolnir to get it off Thor's chest. And Thor's just like, don't you tell anybody about this. You're like, nah, man, I'm just telling you were drunk. That's all. You're like, give me a damn hammer, As he was like, look, I got to go to Midgard. I'm gonna finish this once and for all. So Thor goes to Midgard, Earth, and he goes to the Avengers. And the Avengers are fighting. I don't even think it matters who they're fighting. They're fighting robot monsters or some shit. It doesn't matter. They're fighting. They're actually getting their ass beat. And then the Bifrost Bridge blows down here, and Thor's just like, Captain Rogers, we need to speak alone in private. And Cap is just like, yeah, I could, but we're busy right now. Can you come back later on? They're like, oh yeah, my bad. And then Thor actually just lights himself up and just electrocutes every single robot monster there, kills everybody. While still walking. He's like, okay, y'all done? Okay, now let's finish talking. And Cap's just like, yeah, I'm glad to see you again. He was like, and you remember because Tony Stark did that bullshit where he wrote on the hammer and stuff like that, and Thor's just like, don't touch me. He shocks him with lightning and stuff like that. He was like, what the hell? And Cap's like, what the hell? And Cap starts yelling at him, but when he yells at him, Mjolnir takes offense and attacks Cap. And that's when you get that scene with, like, on the cover when Cap, brace back, and Mjolnir just, attacks and shit like that. He was like, Thor, what the hell was that? He was like, my bad. Mjolnir is out of control, just attacking people for no reason. That's why I told you we need to talk. So let's go somewhere and just, away from the other Avengers, just you and me just talk. You're like, okay, cool. So they go Avengers Mountain or some shit. And you see Thor is just throwing back pints of ale back and forth. Where Cap's like, man, you just a drunk ass, And basically Thor asks him, Cap, when was the last time you and I, had a battle together? Like, when was the last time we fought together as Avengers? He was like, I don't understand the question. He was like, just name it. He was like, no. The time we was in the Phoenix tournament. What are you talking about, Cap? I mean, what are you talking about, Thor? And Thor basically tells him, yeah, that no shit and the Phoenix Force shit. I don't remember any of it. I never remember any of the battles I fight. You're like, what? The reason I remember the battles I fight is because the way I perceive time is that everything just moves so fast by me because I'm an immortal. So asking me the last time I was in a fight is like asking you what you had for breakfast last year. You don't remember the same way I don't remember it. So yeah, I had a fight with Noel, whoever the hell Noel is. I don't even care, And basically, that's the thing that's going on right now. And he said that's why he's so happy to see the Avengers every time, because time moves by so fast. He realized that the Avengers are still here. Then he can see them, but he knows eventually, since he's an immortal, all of them going to be gone. Cap, Tony, Natasha, Clint, all of them, he won't see him anymore. Even Banner. Probably not Banner, but yeah. So, but he realizes that the reason Mjolnir is not acting right with him is because Mjolnir is the weapon of a soldier. But now that Thor is king, Mjolnir no longer responds to him. Mjolnir has to respond to a warrior. So he's just like, since I'm no longer Asgard's hammer, I can't be the hammer no more. And he just slams it down to the ground and leaves it in Avengers Mansion and just walks away. And that's it. So what happens after that? He fights Odin. Him and Odin are going to get in a bar fight. That's what's on the cover. So yeah. So I'm pretty sure Cap's going to get Mjolnir now. I think that's what he was talking to Cap for. He's trying to give Cap Mjolnir. So I don't know.
Okay.
We'll see where the story goes from there. But yeah, I don't know where I'm gonna rate this. It's 3.5 out of 5. I get 3.5 out of 5. It's cool.
All right. I guess I'll do Aliens Aftermath #1.
Okay.
So this is it's the 35th anniversary of the movie Aliens, the sequel to the original Alien. So Benjamin Percy wrote this story to commemorate the anniversary. Basically, we have a group of like eco-terrorists, and they're going around blowing up Weyland-Yutani factories or space facilities, and then they're doing it online. They're like posting YouTube videos online, social media videos, TikTok videos, whatever, in the future of them doing this shit. Then they happen upon Hadley's Hope. Hadley's Hope is the settlement on LV-426, the one that took place in the second Aliens movie. And it turns out one of the guys is Vasquez's nephew or related to Vasquez. Vasquez was the female soldier.
The book Mexican chick that was played by a Jewish lady.
Yeah. He's related to her. And this is like 35 years later after the events of the movie. They get down on there. It's the place, we all know Ripley blew up the facility and basically turned the place into like a nuclear winter. It's just winter. Snow, fall, everything. It's a frost planet. It's basically hot. And they find the facility. They find the village, the rubble of the village. They're searching, and they find a guy in cryo sleep. And then all of a sudden, this weird, like, is it nitrogen or some kind of nuclear alien, glowing alien, is started attacking everybody. So that thing's running around killing everybody. And it's got it can freeze them or whatever. Yeah. So instead of like, the acid, like she shoots it, and then the acid like sprays on her, the blood, but it freezes, instead of it burning, it freezes her hand and like it shatters and shit.
Yeah.
So it's like some kind, I think nitrogen, is that what like liquid nitrogen or something like I don't know. It's nuclear. Basically, I think that they're saying because the place was blown up by the nuke, that it turned the place radioactive, and now the alien hive turned radioactive, and now we have radioactive glowing aliens. But anyways, the dude finds somebody sleeping in a cryo chamber, and then Weyland-Yutani contact him like, hey, we know you're the one who's been blowing up our shit, and we know you're on that planet. We've been tracking you the whole fucking time. We got a proposition for you. If you bring that body back, we'll wipe your record clean and we'll pay you a bunch of money.
Okay.
But then but then he opens up the fucking cryo chamber, and then of course a chest burster comes out, and to be continued. So I don't know. It was pretty cool, I thought. Not sure about the radioactive alien, but it was still pretty fun. Nice homages to the old movie.
New. Yeah, something new. So.
I thought it was. I kind of enjoyed it. I enjoyed the storyline. I enjoyed the references to the old movies, and yeah, Weyland-Yutani is basically the villain of the series. So, yeah, so cool. I'll give it a 4 out of 5. I like it. I like this a lot better than the other book, the other alien book they got going on.
Okay, so it's not the same book. They got two different ones going on.
Yeah, it's Aftermath. So it's another storyline.
Gotcha. Okay. I didn't know if it was like a event story to that story.
Yeah.
Okay.
That it? Are you done?
I'm done. Yeah. What if
Oh,
you got any more left? Yeah.
Last one I'll do is Cold War or Cold Dead War, number
Cold Dead
3.
War. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is by Heavy Metal Comics. This is written by George Romero's son, George C. Romero. And this is basically about
Is he a comic writer?
I guess he's doing this. And this is basically about, now in the movie Heavy Metal, there's a segment called the B-17 segment, which is about like a World War II plane that crashes on this island, and there's a bunch of zombie soldiers.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the coolest segments of that movie. And this basically expands on that. These soldiers basically work for the government, and they're taking out Nazis. This takes place, I think, in the 50s, and the government comes and tells these Nazi soldiers to take out these zombie soldiers. Sorry, and they're American. They're American zombie soldiers. They're just undead. They're zombies, and they got to go to Argentina to take out Nazi soldiers that had been hiding in South America since World War II ended. And these Nazis have been making their own soldiers, or monster soldiers. And that's basically what this is. It's monster soldiers fighting Nazi zombie soldiers. And it's pretty cool. It's a lot of fun. It's like, you can see it's heavy metal, so they push the gore and the violence and shit. You see all that delicious gory fun. Plenty of action, plenty of blood and shit. And yeah, that's all it is. It's campy, stupid, gory fun. I'm digging it. 4 out of 5. So
cool. Okay. Shoot. Anything else you got? Or?
I'm booked out.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. If you're listening this long, just like, subscribe. Sorry, I don't know what's going on with Facebook. Nobody's seen us on Facebook. We got blocked. I saw what was going on.
Yeah, Gomer. Yeah, This Geeks and Comics got blocked too. So I have no idea, because I saw the link, and then I clicked on it. It said video or stream unavailable or whatever. So I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I don't know if they post anything. I'll talk to Gomer later on, kind of compare notes, see what happens. But on the other platforms, as of now, we're good. We probably will get blocked on YouTube later on, but until then, have fun with this episode now. So yeah, I don't know what's coming down the pipe next week. We got no Marvel stuff. We got no theater stuff. We got no Netflix Fear Street stuff. I'm pretty sure something will pop up. Somebody will do something crazy, and we will talk about something. So
I'll have to review a Bad Batch episode.
You might as well. Yeah. Yeah. Disney Plus, they have everything going on. They better bring something before I cancel my subscription. So yeah.
Yeah. When is What If? Is that in August? Or when is What If? What If is next, right?
Honestly, I don't even care. Even though they're trying to make it seem like Loki makes this canon, it's not. Making everything canon makes nothing canon. They learn nothing from DC. So yeah.
Yeah. What if books were just fun, stupid shit?
Yeah, nobody cared until there was an idea like, what if Thor was a woman? They were like, some assholes like, let's make that a thing. Oh yeah. So yeah, we'll talk to you guys next time. Until then, this is Leroy.
This is Eli.
We'll talk to you guys next week. Same bully time, same bully channel.